So today we are doing a video with tips on how to train your dog. If you are training your dog on your own, the puppy may not always understand what exactly it is that you're wanting him or her to do. So you will have to guide the puppy in some cases. For example, Katie, you want to explain that with the command sit?
Okay, if she doesn't understand, push her back down to sitting position so she can understand.
What Katie is saying is that you will just guide the back portion of the body down into a sitting position to help the dog to understand. Even with you assisting the dog, you want to highly praise the dog, and then the dog makes the connection that, wow, this is what's getting the reward. The dog picks up very quickly that that is the position that you want the dog to be in when you give that particular hand signal or when you give the verbal command. At some point, you should be able to use the hand signal alone or the verbal command alone, or both the hand signal and the verbal command together. And if the dog is not doing what you want it to do, you want to give a firm no. The dog quickly begins to understand that no is associated with something that he or she's not supposed to be doing. Get off the wood, Rocky. Good boy. So he knows what I mean when I say get off the wood. I don't want him in the dining room on the wood. So he'll come back to the foyer on the towel areas. I also train him that as well. Let me give you another example, like Rocky. Okay, here's the foyer and here's the wood. Good boy. Rocky, get off the wood. Good boy. Okay, so you can just about train your dog to do all sorts of things. Pick up things, retrieve things for you, and they understand. They begin to understand what it is that you want them to do. So here's Adrian and Rocky. And right now, we are hanging out in my exercise room, just watching them play for a little bit. Okay, woo! Oh my gosh. Okay, Rocky, don't hurt her. Don't hurt her. Look at her, she's got Rocky's leg. So let's see if we can get them to sit together without wrestling each other. Look at Adrian. And look at Rocky. Aww. Aww, this is so cute. I love it. Adrian does know her name. Adrian, good girl. Call her back, Kate.
Come, Adrian. Good girl. Adrian, sit.
Good girl.
Down. No. Down. Good girl. Paw. Good girl. Up.
Good. Ooh, look at her backing up. Do that again, Kate.
Come, Adrian. Good girl.
Make her back up. Good girl. She does that so nicely. Caitlin taught her how to back up.
Back up. Good girl.
Awesome. Rocky, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Good boy. Oh boy. That's too funny. Spin right. Good boy, Rocky. Spin left. Good boy. Oh, look at my baby. Look at my baby. A few people asked for a video on how we trained our dogs. I taught Rocky all of the basic commands that he knows at 13 weeks. Rocky is 9 months old, so he's still a puppy. Pretty big, but he's still a puppy. And Adrian is now 15 weeks, and she's learned so much in a very short space of time. I did teach her her name.
And down.
Yes, and I taught her down as well. But everything else, my 13-year-old, my 12-year-old, and my 11-year-old taught Adrian. And if a 12, 11, and 13-year-old can train a puppy, you can train your own puppy too. Anybody can do it themselves and not spend out all the money for classes and for a professional person to train. What did you teach Adrian?
I taught her back up in paw.
She's 13 years old. My 12-year-old actually taught her sit. The first thing is we want everybody to know we use treats. These are the treats we use. They come in lots of different flavors. We kind of vary it up sometimes. This just happens to be peanut butter and oat recipe. So since they are food motivated, we're able to actually get them to do what we want them to do. It's okay to assist your puppy because sometimes your puppy doesn't know exactly what it is that you want him or her to do. Dogs seem to pick up on hand signals a lot faster than the words. So develop some type of hand signal that you will use along with the verbal command. Katie, show our hand signal for sit. Okay, that's our hand signal for sit. What is our hand signal for down? Right, what is our hand signal for up? Okay, what is our hand signal for stay? And what is our hand signal for speak? Very good. What is the hand signal for spin right? Spin left. Okay, I can't think of anything else right now, but if I do, I'll let you know. So you can develop your own hand signals, whatever you think is easiest for you. It doesn't have to be a universal hand signal, but you develop something that your dog is going to associate the commands with. And we just showed you a few, some of the ones that I can think of right off the top of my head right now. And just to give you an idea, try to at least develop hand signals for most of the commands. That way, your puppy can associate the commands with hand signals without saying any words at all, or we're able to use the words without any hand signals, or we do both. Most of the time we do both. However, there are situations where we may be out in public and we need our dog to sit and we just don't want to say it, so we'll just give the puppies hand signals. So this is the first time that we're teaching Adrian to spin. Let her follow your hand.
Spin right.
Good girl. And you want to praise her. If you keep doing that, she will get used to that is what you want her to do when you say spin right. So basically, Caitlin's holding the food in her hand and she's getting the dog to go in the direction of the food.
Spin right.
Good girl. To make her understand what it is that she wants her to do. So let's try it again, Kate.
Right.
Good girl. And after we do spin right a few times, we'll try it in the other direction.
Spin left.
Good girl.
Spin right.
Good girl. Eventually you'll just be able to make that hand signal and she will just do it automatically. She's intently looking at Katie. Yes.
Good
okay
girl.
And this is the way that you get the puppy to do what you want him or her to do.
Spin right.
Good girl.
See right here, look at the last treat. Let's see. Spin right. Spin right.
Good girl. And see, that time Katie just used the hand signal instead of holding the food right in front of her face, and she still did it. So, aw, that's so cute. So that's the way you train your pup. You sometimes have to assist them with the food in your hand. Put it directly near their nose or their face so they can sniff it and know that it's there. And you kind of assist the puppy along with what you want it to do. It's real simple, it's real easy. Like I said, my little kids actually taught Adrian most of the commands that she understands at this point. In the first video, we just showed Rocky doing a whole bunch of neat things, but we never really explained how we were able to get him to do that. So this is just an example of how we train our puppies, how we get them to do what we need them to do. Adrian, you're such a cutie pie. Look at you. You're such a pretty girl. Yes, you are a pretty girl, Adrian. Aw, so sweet.
It was kind of hard at first teaching her paw because at first she wouldn't get it. Like I do it like a bunch of times, and at first she wouldn't get it. So what I had to do is whenever I say paw, I take my other hand and I lift it up and I put it on my hand and then I say good girl. It took me a lot of time to do that before she figured it out, but then eventually she figured it out.
That's another example of assisting the dog so that the dog knows what it is that you're expecting it to do. Paw. Good girl. You're so smart. You are so smart. You're such a smart girl. Yes, you are. Katie taught her how to back up. So Kate said she taught her how to back up by standing in front of her
and walking back
and walking towards her, and instinctively, I guess, when she sees someone walking towards her, she's going to start stepping back.
Good girl.
Right. And Caitlin, you can even stand still now and she will still back up without Katie even moving. Isn't that awesome? But initially, Katie, you said you taught her by walking towards her, giving her that hand signal, and she would start to back up. But that's how I taught Rocky how to back up too.
But I can't do that moving towards her thing twice, and after that she just got it.
Okay, so she got it after 2 tries. And you see how she just jumped on you? Yeah. That's an excellent opportunity to teach her to jump.
Or jump, I meant.
Yeah.
This is the signal.
And that's the signal we use for jump. Teaching the dog to back up. That is a very, very easy thing to do. Stand in front of the dog with the treat. Walk towards the dog. Instinctively, the dog is automatically going to back up. And as you're doing that, give the hand signal, whatever hand signal you choose to represent back up. And of course, once the dog goes backwards in the direction that you want him to go, you're going to praise the dog. You don't want to get the dog frustrated. So any small effort that the dog makes to try and do what you want him or her to do, you want to reward the dog, and eventually the dog just actually catch on. Okay, so while we're talking, Katie's actually teaching her stay.
Come on, you just have to stay. Stay. Good girl, go back. Go back.
So that's Katie teaching her how to stay. Whenever she would make a move, and that while she was in that down position, Katie would tell her no until she's able to understand that Katie's wanting her not to move. Do it again, Kate.
Stay. Good girl, go get it. Go get it, good girl. Did you see her bucket like
She wanted to make sure it was okay. See, so it's really easy. Now, this is something that Katie's teaching her for the first time tonight. Hold a treat in the other hand and make the hand signal very clear.
Okay. Adrian, come here. Come here.
Change? Right, okay.
Okay. No, come over here. Come over here. Okay. Down. Down. No, down. Good girl. Stay.
She's waiting for her command. Good job, Kate. Good job. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully we have given you all some tips on how to train your puppy. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below. Give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.